lap. So a couple more like that, that'll do Rangers a good turn.
Give up, seriously. I think it's.
It was a controversial game filled to the brim with absolutely idiotic refereeing decisions, but Rangers got a penalty, didn't they? Welcome back to Fog Football, and it's time. The football has returned. It was a crazy afternoon of it, and none other than at Ibrox as Rangers returned to the summit of the Scottish Premiership, where they belong. And there's a lot to get into with this bad boy, I think. But Rangers begun the game. I thought they were pretty good. I thought Rangers begun the game pretty well. A few early corners, all that good stuff. He had a Scott Wright, had a half volley. He then had a shot that was cleared off the line that was absolutely laughable. That the shot was shite, right? But talking of laughable, what about the instant quite early on this game where there was an absolute coming together between a Hibs player booting the ball and it cracked his two own players in the dome? That was funny. You know, if you can't laugh at that, then what are you laughing at, brother? Seriously, what would you be laughing at if you can't laugh at that? Because I mean that was pretty great. But let's talk about the penalty, shall we? We've already uploaded a wee video about Michael Stewart crying about it, and we've included a wee clip of it in this video as well because he took it bad, right? I get it, Michael Stewart. I do seriously get why you would cry about it because you're a fud. Alright, make no mistake about it, Michael Stewart. You're a fud. You're a field trialist. You know, your Rangers career was an absolute, well, I mean, it was a non-starter, so to speak. The guy's just extremely bitter. It's pathetic. And this was none other than that. But, saying all that, I don't think it was a penalty either. Now that may be like, whoa, you're saying that's not a penalty. Well, I didn't think the Alistair Johnson incident at Easter Road was a penalty. Funny enough, both instances against Hibs. So, for me, the only difference with this one is the ball hasn't already been played. Johnson played the ball, then he got, the head knock. Here, Souttar's caught a stray elbow in the face just before he's attempted to go for the ball. And saying that, the ball, he was nowhere near the ball, right? But that's the only argument I would say. I think if you give the Johnston one at Easter Road, I think you've got to give this one. And I just think that is what's happened here. It's actually rare that you see these penalties given in that instant, but here, I just think the precedent was set when you gave the other one, and then you've kind of got to give this one, and that's exactly what happened. Now, we can cry, you can bitch and complain about it like Michael Stewart, Hibs fans say, what, Mick Montgomery should walk off the pitch because it's corruption. Fuck off, man. Honestly, I don't think it's a penalty, but it's actually in the laws of the game that it is. So I just do not grasp it. Alright? I just do not grasp it in the slightest about what in the name of Christ is going on with the refereeing decisions here. Because I look at this, right? It's in the laws of the game, so I have no real issue with the penalty being given. For me, it's the encroachment. That is my biggest problem, right? Because Tav, it's a shit penalty. May as well talk about that. It's an awful penalty. Falls to Scott Wright, he scores. Then we've got a VAR check for encroachment. Turns out in the replays that both Wright and the Hibs player were in the box when Tav struck it. So therefore, by the laws of the game, that means it has to be retaken. And they don't retake it. So the laws of the game weren't followed. This ain't a referee's choice. This ain't a referee's preference. The literal fucking rules. Like, obviously referees, each of them referees at a different standard, but their own way, right? Referees will think certain things are free kicks and other referees won't. There's referees that let games flow, right? There's different preferences for referees. I can accept that. But this, do they not know the rule book? I seriously am not grasping what happened here. Why this wasn't retaken, I do not know. But they weren't laughing for long, Hibs, because Rangers made it 1-0. Let's say 2-1. They made it 1-0. James Tavernier, lovely finish. He made up for the bad penalty. Scott Wright, did he make up for being shite? I mean, I don't think he was particularly bad today, Scott Wright. He scored the rebound, right, which was a lot more difficult in my opinion than his actual open net. It's not his half. The shot he had cleared off the line, because he had plenty of time for the shot cleared off the line. All he had to do was put his boots through it, and he failed to do that. For the penalty one, it is at an angle, and Marshall is up pretty quickly, but here he scored it, but shafted nonetheless. And then it's the annual, no, it's the weekly Connor Goldson fuck up here, and Lundstrom and the Rangers disaster at the back for counter attacks. Because what's going on here? Seriously, Souttar's not doing himself a great job here, right? But Lundstrom comes over, and if Lundstrom's coming over, and if Rangers are going to commit 2 men to this Ali Yuan, Lundstrom has to either get him or cut out the passing lane. Does neither. Ball comes across to him in Zazie or something. Goldson dives in like an absolute tool. I mean, it's at a situation where if you're going to dive in, you may as well like risk it all to try and win the ball, because if he gets past you, it's going to be a goal. And that's exactly what happens. Tav does get something on it, but Guy manages to poke it past Butland after it. And it's just a bit shit here for everybody at the back. We've got one of these goals in us, and this is why, right? That, I mean, we've had these goals in us for years, but when you have a goal like this in you at the back, this is why you just can't really do stuff in Europe as well. Like, even though we have done stuff in Europe, but it's things like this that cost us against Frankfurt in the Europa League final. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much, but it's just like these defensive frailties that cost us time and time again in numerous old firms and numerous other games in the league. It's just shite fucking defending, man. It needs to be cut out, and I think the only way to cut it out is to rip up the defence. I think that is the only way to do it. But is that going to happen? No, because it would take a lot of money to replace it. But then Dessers gets his goal, brilliant. He did have a header flicked over after this, but before this, but then after it, Cantwell finds him. Great ball across. 1, 2, 3. Bob's your uncle into the back of the net. Great goal for Dessers. And I thought some of his build-up play was fantastic. The way he was holding up the ball and the way he was bringing people into the game. But his finishing's fucking awful, because we come back for the break. He misses an open net. Drags it wide, and I'm like, what are you doing? Seriously, son. What are you doing? A few early corners here, but Hibs didn't do anything. See, at 2-1, like, you never really feared it. Yeah, there was a moment where Goldson was shite again at the back, but the subs were made. It was good seeing a lot of players return for Rangers. Rabi Matondo made it 3-1, and we pretty much seen it out. Rangers returned to the summit. But yeah, again, the people that are going to cry about the fact that Rangers get preferential treatment and shit like that, if you watched that game today, it was fucking horrendous, man. The referee, the amount of times Hibs players went down and he bought it, and I say he bought it loosely because, you know, maybe they bought him. It's just a mess what happened. And then, like, we were just giving it to Davy Marshall. It's like, no, the ball should be getting to us for this. Don't understand it in the slightest. But anyway, guys, let's leave it down below. We'll probably put up a few wee polls here and see how that goes, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Until next time, Rangers, back to the summit. Hibs, bit shite again, wasn't it?